Go to a convention, a comic book store, or even just outside the premiere of the latest Marvel movie. Ask anyone why they love these characters so much. Oh, and make sure you have a couple minutes to spare. Nowadays, people don't like superheroes just because of their flashy costumes and powers. Well, not counting Jaja Zaturna, slay! Heroes are heroes because of what they stand for, their ideologies, and their undying passion. Yes, it's their powers that makes them super, but it's the humanity that makes them heroes. So, I quite literally wanted to peel back the page of these comics and expose the hands that drew every single crosshatch that eventually made these characters who saved the fictional world from devastation. And maybe you'll realize that their color palettes are in a familiar shade of Kayumangki. This is KASE KOMIKS. We'll be going through what I call the golden, the silver, and the bronze age of Filipino-made comics. And before you say you only know Marvel and DC, stick around, because these three artists, they aren't just local. They're also not local. And some of them are international. 3 artists, 3 generations, and 3 different stories to tell. Let me introduce Mars Ravelo, Wills Portacio, and the duo Budgetan and Kajo Baldissimo. This documentary will go over how they got their start, their inspiration for creating such iconic characters, and the message beneath the pen and paper. To start off, Mars Ravelo.
Kung pag-uusapan ng comics sa Pilipinas, imposibleng hindi banggitin ang pangalang Mars Ravelo.
Mars Ravelo is who people deem as the Filipino Stan Lee. He's the creator of such household names like Darna, Captain Barbell, and Elastic Man. And through this, we can discover the backstory of why them, why these powers, and why are their alter egos janitors, emergency medics, and professors, instead of rich billionaire orphan playboys. When you think about it, they don't stop being heroes when they take their suit off. I think what Mars Ravelo wanted to show is that these are just a reflection of our everyday heroes that we see every day. And maybe we'll find out if Marvel actually came from Mars Ravelo. No, it didn't. Spoiler alert. Next, we have Wills Portacio.
Hi everybody, I'm Wills Portacio, and I'm gonna draw a character that I made up called Bishop from the X-Men.
If you're a fan of X-Men, Iron Man, and even Spawn, then you better give this guy some credit. Did you know that Bishop was intended to be the first Filipino mutant? But when Marvel asked him to change his race instead to be African American, this is what he had to say. Understanding as a minority, I couldn't say no. I was already operating in the mood of being Pinoy, diba? Learning about our ugali, and that's another part of it. Pagbigyan, diba? There's always another time. Our third is actually a duo, Budgetan and Kajo Baldissimo.
Hi, I'm Budgetan. I am the writer and co-creator of the comic book Trese. Trese was inspired by growing up in Manila. I grew up in the same environment where people were told, you need to say tabi-tabi po if you see, a mound of dirt near a tree kasi baka may duwende dyan.
These two are the great minds behind Trese, which is now a hit Netflix animated series. Take John Constantine and sprinkle in some Filipino mythology. There you go. The comic didn't just modernize Pinoy lore, but it was also a commentary on poverty, police brutality, and the unjust justice system. In fact, all of them did. Alcoholism, racism, abuse, discrimination. You see, they weren't fighting villains. They were fighting villainous acts. And hey, if aswangs can hide in our canals and sewers, what's stopping them from hiding in Malacanang? But of course, I still want this documentary to be fun. I mean, I did base it off the toys that made us. So I'd want a short segment where we interview the said heroes.
Hi!
Hello,
Hi.
hello
Sige,
po.
thank you.
Yes,
Ay,
please
dito
take a
lang ba?
seat lang.
Ay, ako lang ba yung i-interview? Kasya ba ako sa
Sir? Sir?
Joke lang,
Sir?
joke lang.
Sir?
Hey, yo, what's
Hello
up,
po,
man?
good
It's your
morning.
boy, Elastic
Please
Man.
take a seat na
Oh,
lang,
what's
sir.
up? Elastic Man in the
yes,
house.
sir. Yes, sir. Daming energy.
Ay,
Sir,
kumusta?
let me just,
Kumusta? What's up, mga
yes,
pirate shop?
sir?
Hey.
Sir, please sit down.
Sorry. Hi, ako nga pala si Darna, pero pwede mo din akong tawaging Narda. Uy, pero secret lang natin yun ha. Hi, good morning. Ako si Captain Barbell! Okay, serious na. Yung cuts ko lighting lang, sige.
Any thoughts on your brand new costume?
Yung costume ko, to be honest, malamig.
Mr. Captain, while you wait, would you like some tea or coffee?
Hindi na. Nagdala ko ng protein shake. Ito, protein shake ko.
So for our next question, sige, do you need help?
Lapit na.
Sige.
The Filipino comic book industry had a recent resurgence with Comiket and PenLab helping young artists, and Geek Talk PH creates content that promotes our shared love for superheroes, thus starting a community that thrives on our collective passion. I was actually invited to a private MediaCon where I met the cast of the new Darna television series. I was lucky enough to talk to Mr. Rex Ravelo, son of Mars Ravelo, and he agreed to a short interview for this documentary. And this is what he had to say about the future of Filipino comics.
Yeah, we're always excited about the Filipino comics and where it's headed right now. We're not really sure where it's headed, but very, very positive that it will not die. It will not die a natural death. Marami pa tayong mga artists, up-and-coming artists, na bubuhay sa comics. Hopefully one day, it will come alive again. Hopefully. The way it is now, medyo hindi ganun kaganda ang market natin as compared to the US. But who knows? You never know. You never know. We have better artists, I can say that. We have better artists than the US. And we have better writers than the US. I can say that also. So, bigyan lang tayo ng break. Bigyan lang tayo ng break. The comics will come alive again in the Philippines.
Hope. Hope is what we need in a time like this. And it's the driving force of our Filipino heroes. A value they try every day to inspire in us, in all of us. Darna, Bishop, Trece, they're not just characters. They're a reflection of what we Filipinos can become when we choose truth, justice, and above all, love. But Nico, how did they fit all of that in a 10-page book? Kasi, comics!
My biggest advice para sa yung lahat is tanggapin mo na Pinoy ka, that we're all Filipino. Take everything that you know of who you are, your characteristics, and the good and the bad. Hindi lang yung maganda. Heroes are heroes that are normal people that stand up to do great things. You inspire another generation by showing that normal people can be great, that you too can be great. So do stories about people that you know, about yourself, about your feelings, about who you are, your differences, your friends, your parents, your people that you idolize that are Filipino too. Do those stories. I'll guarantee you the world will want to know those stories. Show who we are to the world. We have a rich history. We have many heroes from various different parts of the Philippines. Do us. Show yourself to the world. Show us to the world. Stand up as a Filipino.